yogis and yoginis. Welcome to our new yoga practice that's going to be focusing on the root chakra. We're starting a whole series on the chakra system, and my hope is that during these winter months and while we're here in a pandemic and some of us are restricted to where we can go and what we can do, let's go ahead and get our physical house in order by balancing out all of the chakras. The chakras are these energy wheels in the body. There are 7 of them that they start all the way down at the lower part of the torso and go all the way up through the crown of our head. And the idea is that if we have these energy wheels moving in good working order, then we should have good health in the body. We should have good lives outside of the body. Everything is going to be in good working order for us, both mentally and physically. So you'll notice today that I have brought all of you into my garage, which I know is probably not the most glamorous location that we have shared during our yoga videos. However, sometimes all that you can do to get away from the rest of the family and get to a little peace and quiet for your practice, sometimes you might have to go into the garage or into that one room in the house where you still have boxes left to unpack or things better left unseen. Sometimes you have to go into that room. Maybe you're in the laundry room. Wherever you are for your yoga practice, that doesn't matter. What matters is that we're honoring our commitment to our practice. So wherever you have to go to get that peace and zen, even in the middle of the winter, just stay out of the inclement weather and get this practice done. So we're starting with the root chakra today for this mat yoga class. Root chakra is also called Muladhara chakra. It's located at the bottom of our torso, right near where those reproductive organs are. And this chakra governs our feelings of safety and stability in the body and the mind. So if you're someone who's going around just feeling scattered all the time, and nothing seems to be going right and you can't seem to get a handle on things, stimulating this chakra could help give us some more stability in our life that we're looking for. And maybe we're living in a fearful situation. Maybe stimulating this chakra here and gaining those feelings and those desires for safety will give us the courage to make our outward situation better for us and safer. So let's go ahead and get started. We want to plant both feet flat on the ground. I always like to start our practice, whether we're seated or standing, by rolling the shoulders back and down. And let's begin by breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, as long as those passageways are clear for us. And if they're not clear today, let's just breathe as comfortably as you can. Now roll those shoulders back and down one last time. Let's turn the palms of our hands to face forward, standing tall in Tadasana, mountain pose. Really planting our feet down into the earth beneath us, feeling that strong, stable, and safe foundation pose. Bringing our focus to the sound of our healthy breathing, allowing all other thoughts to fade away. As we hear the sound of our healthy breathing, we're reminded to breathe throughout each pose, especially if a pose is challenging for us. Let's keep breathing rather than holding our breath. And let's remind ourselves as we move through the poses today, everything is meant to feel good in the body. Everything, like I said, is meant to feel good. And maybe it's going to feel challenging, like we're working pretty hard, but our intention is never to be uncomfortable or hurting. So if anything doesn't feel comfortable, please give yourself permission to ease back to a more comfortable place. Let's take one more deep breath here. Now let's place one hand or two right on top of your navel here. We're going to practice belly breathing or bellows breath. So that's where we're breathing down low from the diaphragm. With each inhale, we're going to inflate the belly as if we're inflating a balloon. And on each exhale, we're going to let go of all that air, feeling the navel moving back toward the spine, and maybe a little squeeze to get all the air out at the very end. So let's give it a try. Inhaling and exhaling. Keep going, find your own pace. Using our bellows breath to gently massage the organs not far from the root chakra. One more deep breath. Now let's relax those hands, rolling the shoulders back and down. Let's inhale one long arm up toward the ceiling, and on the exhale, switching sides. Inhaling and exhaling. Feeling the chest opening up for us, and we know that we're also lubricating those shoulder joints at the same time. Now, if anyone is feeling challenged working on that belly breath or bellows breath, a wonderful way to practice how to focus that breath down in the belly is to lay down flat on your floor or lay down flat on your bed and just put like a gentle book on top of your navel. And then as you inhale, you want to make that book rise up as you inflate the belly, and then you'll watch it go back down as you exhale. It's a nice way to just practice breathing low down in that diaphragm area. One more long arm reach. Now let's gently come over into a side bend. Inhaling and exhaling. Feeling that nice gentle stretch for the side body here. One more time on each side, gentle side bends, and then we'll come on back down to the center. let's put one hand on top of the other. This is what I'm calling my I Dream of Jeannie twist. It's very gentle. Let's inhale tall, engage the abdominals. Gently, gently twist to one side. On the inhale, come back to the center. So we exhale as we gently twist. We inhale back to the center. One more time. Now let's come all the way back to the center, relax those arms. Now I'm just gonna face the camera here rather than moving my mat. Let's take a wide stance on the mat. So the toes are pointing out on the diagonal, the knees are bending, and I can still see my toes down there, which means I have a good wide base here. So let's inhale, both arms overhead. And on the exhale, bend through the knees, reach the arms out long, palms up to the sky. Inhaling, arms overhead. Exhaling into sun pose, palms up. So we're using these sun pose, and we're going to use prayer flow and our hinging sunflowers as a warming tool. Warm muscles always move a little better and stretch a little better than when they're cold muscles. Now, if you're like me and you're in your garage, which is not heated, you might want to dress in layers so that you are staying good and warm. Of course, if you're getting too hot, you can peel off some of those layers. One more sun pose. Now let's take those arms overhead, palms touch. And on the exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Inhaling, arms up. Exhale, the hands to the heart. One more time. Now let's use our hinging sunflowers. So we bend through the knees, we hinge forward and gather, and then we rise up tall. So we exhale, hinging, gathering, inhale and rise up. Now when we hinge forward, not only are we lubricating the lower back, but we're also feeling that nice stretch behind the legs. And we're keeping our abdominals engaged on the way down into the hinge as well as on the way back up. One more of these sunflower hinges. Now let's bring those arms all the way back down, stepping up to the top of our mat with our feet hips distance apart. Let's inhale, both arms overhead, a little bend in the knees as we swan dive to a forward fold. On the inhale, let's lift to monkey with a nice flat back. Exhaling down to forward fold, rising tall as we inhale, swan diving down. Inhaling and lifting to monkey, strong abdominals. Exhale down to forward fold, rise up on the inhale. One more time using monkey flow to warm up the body here. Now let's take a swan dive down, holding our forward fold, taking a moment to gently straighten the legs as much as is comfortable. Maybe just taking notice of how much we can straighten the legs at the beginning of our practice. Hopefully things will become more and more flexible as the practice goes on. Now from here, let's step all the way back for downward dog. Reaching our heels as close to the ground as is comfortable. Hips are up high toward the sky. Let's start to pedal the heels here. Just a slow runner's warm up in downward dog. Now reach both heels back and down. Gently, gently, let's lower the knees to the mat and let's stack the body right up into an all fours pose. So we have shoulders over the wrists, hips are over the knees. And if your wrists are uncomfortable with this flat hand, certainly use a fist here if you'd rather. So let's inhale, arching the back for cow pose. And on the exhale, let's curl up like a cat. Hearing the sound of our healthy breathing, using cat and cow to lubricate the spine today. Inhaling to cow, exhale, curl up like a cat. Now let's come back to a neutral position. As we look at the ground here, let's inhale, reaching the left arm forward as the right leg stretches out behind us, and then exhale back to all fours. Other side, inhaling, the right arm in front and the left leg extends behind us. Exhale back to all fours. Following the breath, keeping those abdominals engaged here is going to help us not only with our balance, but helps us in supporting our back at the same time. One more time on each side, long breaths as we inhale with long stretches. Now coming back to all fours, let's reach the hips back toward the heels, coming into extended child's pose or balasana. Remember, if you ever need to take a break in the practice, coming back to child's pose is always a nice option. Now, when you're ready, on the next inhale, let's come forward into a strong kneeling plank, engaging the abdominals, shoulders over wrists. Now, gently keep your elbows close to the body, lower yourself down to the ground. On the inhale, let's lift the chest away from the ground, like a snake in the grass for cobra, and then lift the body all the way back into child's pose. Again, let's inhale forward, exhaling down through chaturanga, that's crocodile. Inhale, lift up to cobra. Exhale, come all the way back. Following our breath. Couple more times through this upper body practice. Remember, keep those elbows close to the body like a literal crocodile. One more time through. Coming all the way back to child's pose, feeling supported by the ground beneath us, safe and secure. Now let's shift the body forward to all fours. Let's take our left foot and step it up to our hands. You can leave your feet here on the ground for this kneeling lunge, or you can walk the hands up and rest them on top of that bent left thigh. Another nice option is to have those arms up high, maybe goalpost arms, lots of choices. This is our kneeling lunge. We're bringing that root chakra low to the ground, closer to the earth, and stimulating that area. We're also stretching out the hip flexors and the psoas muscles. And this is helping to bring balance into those areas. Two more breaths. Now gently bring those hands back down to the ground. Take that left foot back. Step the right foot forward this time. Decide if you want to stay down low for this kneeling lunge or work your way up. Lots of choices here. So you do what feels best for you in your practice today. Engage the abdominals. That'll help with your balance. Two more breaths. Now gently, gently fold forward. Take that right foot back. Reach those hips back into child's pose again. Take a few breaths here. And when you're ready, let's go ahead and curl the toes to the ground. Press those heels back and down, coming into downward dog. Let's take 3 breaths here. And then we're going to step up with the left foot and then the right foot. Rising tall with overhead arms. And let's just reach all the way back here for chest expansion. I'm going to turn to the side here. We've got a little arch in the back. The chest is wide open. Think about yourself as one of those beautiful ladies or maybe even a handsome man on the front of a ship, right? The masthead. That's what we're trying to kind of mimic here. We've got this little arch in the back. But chest expansion pose, gang, we should feel the chest expanding. We should feel some action there. If you're not feeling any action, try to reach back a little further. Maybe like you're holding on to a big beach ball. Nice and strong through the abdominals. Let's inhale tall with a little bend in the knees. Let's hinge forward from the hips. And you're welcome to hinge as far down into this forward fold as you like. Now I want to note, if you're someone who's working through vertigo, glaucoma, or uncontrolled high blood pressure, we don't want to put our head below the heart for those folks. So let's keep your chest parallel to the ground if you're working through glaucoma, uncontrolled high blood pressure, or vertigo. 2 more breaths. Now let's swan dive the arms down to a forward fold. Take a moment to straighten out the legs as much as is comfortable. The about turning that pelvis upside down and pouring all of the vitality from that root chakra into all parts of the body, bringing peace and calm throughout the body and the mind. Now on the next inhale, let's lift to monkey. On the exhale, we head down to forward fold, rising tall as we inhale, and we sit back into chair pose as we exhale. Inhaling, arms overhead, swan dive to forward fold. Inhale, lift to monkey with strong abdominals. Exhaling down. Inhale, rise up. And on the exhale, sit back into chair pose. One more time, sitting back into chair. Inhaling, arms overhead. Let's swan dive to a forward fold, stepping all the way back for downward dog. Inhaling forward to the plank of choice. Lower down with control. Lifting to cobra or upward dog. Then we lift the whole body back. Downward dog. Hop up, step up. Or jump up to the hands, rise up. Exhaling to chair. Inhaling, arms overhead. Swan diving down. Stepping back for downward dog. Inhale to any plank you like. Lower down with control. Lifting to cobra or upward dog. Then lift the whole body back, downward dog. Moving up to our hands, rising tall, and exhaling to chair pose. Swan diving down. Stepping back, downward dog. Inhale into plank, lower with control. Lift to upward dog or cobra. Curl the body back, downward dog. Move on up to those hands. Rise as you inhale. Exhale, sitting back to chair. Keep on following the breath, finding our own pace. Two more times through, feeling that good warmth that we're generating from these sun salutations. Last time through. Now let's bring those arms all the way back down. All right, right, nice and warmed up from our sun salutations. Now here, you can turn and use your mat lengthwise, or I guess widthwise. I'm just gonna move a little closer to you. We're gonna take a wide stance here with our feet. Again, when we bend our knees, we should be able to see our toes down there. We're gonna use flowing goddess pose. Again, stimulating that root chakra. Let's inhale the arms up to a star position. On the exhale, bring the elbows down to about shoulder height, palms facing forward. Now here again, we're stimulating that root chakra by bringing it closer to the earth. Inhaling up, exhale, back to shoulder height. One more time. Now let's stay still in our goddess pose. Just hold it here, but keep breathing. Engage the abdominals. Now let's bring those arms up, relax those arms down, bring the feet back to hips distance apart at the top of the mat. Let's inhale, both arms overhead, lacing all the fingers except the pointers and the thumb. And let's take a side bend, either side, half moon pose. Now, if having both arms overhead is too demanding for your spine and things are not comfortable, you can always take that lower arm down if that makes things feel better, okay? That's why we're always listening to the body at all times. We make those changes as needed. Now the next inhale, lift, 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 lift with the trunk. And on the exhale, over to the other side. Nice deep stretches in half moon. Inhale, lift, lift, lift. Relax those arms down, roll the shoulders back. Ah, it feels good. Now let's inhale the left arm up to shoulder height, watching the tips of our fingers as we gently, gently twist through the torso. Inhaling, bringing that arm back to the center, and we exhale down, other side. Inhale with a lateral raise. Exhale, gently twisting, inhaling back to the center and exhaling down. One more time on each side, a lateral raise with a gentle twist. And relax that arm down. Okay, from the tops of our mats here, let's start off with our right foot, stepping as far back as we can step. Starting off here with warrior one, turning our hips to face forward. As I look out into the distance, I try to use a soft gaze through the eyes, relaxing the cheeks, the mouth, the neck, and the shoulders. Warrior one. Now when we're ready, leave your left foot where it is. Gently pick up the right foot. So now it's like we're standing on a surfboard here, looking out over that left middle finger. So my left toes are still facing forward. My right foot is now parallel to the back of the mat for warrior two. Another name for warrior two is fierce warrior. So let's think about digging into our reserves of strength and courage. Looking out over the tip of that left middle finger, allowing all other thoughts to fade away. Now when you're ready, let's go ahead and turn that left palm up toward the ceiling. Reach forward as if you're serving your friends. Then tilt the upper body back. We want to keep that good bend in our left knee. Now you can either look forward past that left arm, or we could lift our gaze up to the left hand if we want more of a balance challenge. Now when you're ready, let's gently come back to warrior two, bend that left forearm and lean into side angle pose. Rotating that right shoulder back to open up the heart. Now gently, gently rise up to warrior two. Relax those arms. Step all the way up to the top of the mat. Let's inhale both arms overhead. Swan diving down to a forward fold. Step on back to downward dog. Inhale forward to the plank of choice. Lower down through chaturanga and lift to upward dog or cobra. Curl the body back. Downward dog, moving up to our hands. Rise up on the inhale and exhale to chair. One more time using this vinyasa flow to heat up the practice. Inhaling to plank, lower down through chaturanga, lift to upward dog or cobra, curl on back, downward dog, moving up to those hands, rise up and exhale to chair. All right, let's bring those arms down. Again, find your feet hips distance apart on your mat. Think about standing on the outer edge of railroad tracks as a guide. This time we're going to take our left foot back, as far back as you can step with that whole left foot on the ground. Turning our hips, shoulders, and head to face forward. Warrior one. Now leave the right foot where it is. Pick up that left foot, stepping back into warrior two. Engage the abdominals, Looking out over that right middle finger in Fierce Warrior. Let's turn that right palm up to the sky, reach forward to lengthen the spine, then tilt the upper body back into Reverse Warrior. Now let's come back to Warrior Two. Bend that right arm and lean into side angle pose. Just barely resting that right arm on your leg will keep all of the work happening here in your trunk muscles. And of course the legs are working as well. Now inhale, lift, lift, lift. Relax those arms. Stepping all the way up to the top of the mat here. Let's shake these legs out a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to use a standing lunge pose. Very similar to Warrior One, except when we step back with that one foot, we're gonna step so far back that only the toes are connecting to the ground. So start off with both feet at the top of the mat. Let's start with our right foot, stepping as far back as we can so that only the right toes are connected. So it's a balance pose here too. Shift the hips to face forward, good bend in the front knee, engage the abdominals, choose any arm options you like, maybe prayer, goalpost arms, high arms, whichever you like, even hands on hips. Again, getting that root chakra closer to the earth is going to help stimulate it. If it's not running as it should be, hopefully this will jumpstart things. 2 more breaths. All right, gently, gently step up. It's a deep stance. Shake out those legs. Let's try it on the other side. Take that left foot way, way, way back. Find your balance. Keep that good bend in the front knee and engage the abdominals for balance help. Now gently step all the way up. Again, shake out those legs. They're working hard today. Let's shift all of our balance over to one foot. Find your balance there. Point through the other toes. Draw that foot in. You can have the toes at ground level or up on your calf or up on the high inner thigh above the knee. For tree pose, let's find a steady focal point in the distance. Engage the abdominals. Standing up tall and strong like a vibrant tree. Now let's shake those limbs out. Move that pose over to the other side. So find your balance. Decide which version of this pose feels good for this side of the body. Now shake out those limbs. Very nice. Now, we're going to take another wide stance here, and you have a choice between two different poses. We can either do goddess pose again, which remember has the wide stance and the elbows at shoulder height like goalpost arms, and we're going to just sink down into that pose as far as is comfortable for you and your knees and your hips. Just trying to get that root chakra closer to the earth. The other option is to try garland or malasana pose, which will be more demanding for the hips and the knees. So think about if your hips and knees are ready for that. We have been doing poses throughout the class to prepare us for this deeper squat. So for garland, I like to bring my feet in. They're a little wider than hips distance apart, but they are not all the way as far as wide-legged stance. So what we're going to do here is inhale the arms overhead, palms touching, and as I exhale, I bring my hands to the heart and I start to bend through the knees, and I sink my bottom down low to the ground, and I bring my elbows inside of the knees. This is also called genie squat. So this is really bringing my root chakra down low to the earth. Again, it is feeling demanding through the hips and the knees, so listen to the body. If you need to take a break, please do. Whether you're in goddess or garland, I want you to keep breathing rather than holding the breath. Two more breaths, we can do this. Now, if you're in garland, sometimes I like to kind of rock forward, put my hands on the ground, and then kind of come back up. If you're in goddess, just bring yourself back up and lower those arms down. Now, if you're not already in a wide-legged stance, let's take one here. Okay, we're going to do a forward fold from this wide-legged stance and just reach as far down as is comfortable. Now we are going to try to keep the legs as straight as is comfortable when we hinge forward. So let's inhale the arms up, hinge forward with a flat back. You might be able to reach the ground, and if you can, just bring your hands there. If not, just let the hands drape down toward the floor. Always thinking about good alignment from the hips to the shoulders and out through the crown of our head. Feeling that lovely stretch for the groin, the inner thighs, backs of the legs. And again, as we're turning that pelvis upside down, we're sending good calm and peace throughout the whole body. Relaxing through the neck and the head. Two more breaths. Now let's put a little micro bend in the knees, engage the abdominals and rise up slowly and lower those arms down. Now let's walk the feet to hips distance apart. We are going to make our way down to the mat. So let's take another forward fold here, the standard version. Folding down, taking a moment to straighten those legs. Hopefully you're noticing that we did gain a little more flexibility there throughout the practice, even if only a smidge more. Now from here, let's go ahead and take down one knee and then the other and sink on back into a nice relaxed child's pose. Again, feeling safe and supported by the earth beneath us. Now when we're ready, let's walk our hands back toward our bent knees, lifting up through the torso. Bring your feet out from under you here. And let's go ahead and bring the soles of our feet in so that we're in an upright butterfly position here. Rolling the shoulders back and down. Here we are directly connecting our root chakra right down to the earth beneath us. So this is another wonderful pose to help stimulate that wheel. Let's just sit up nice and tall here in Baddha Konasana A or Butterfly A. Now, one of the things you'll notice about the chakras is that, first of all, there's lots of different ways to pronounce it. In the Indian dialect, they would say chakra. There's also people who say chakra or chakra. So you'll hear it a lot of different ways. It is a Sanskrit word that means wheel. So it's these spinning wheels of energy that we're talking about. Each wheel has a different color and a different name and even a different symbol within that color. So the color for the root chakra or Muladhara chakra is red. Let's take one more breath, enjoying this upright butterfly pose. Now let's go ahead and bring those knees back upright, extending the right leg down to the ground, long leg there. Bring your left foot in closer to you with that bent knee. Let's inhale the left arm up toward the ceiling, and on the exhale, bring it down behind you. Then we'll inhale the right arm up, reaching high, sitting up tall. You can either take your bent right elbow outside of that bent knee or use the palm of your hand outside of that bent knee. And we're going to sit up tall, engaging the abdominals, feeling that nice deep twist here. Now gently, gently, let's unwind back to the center. Let's switch legs. Now my left leg is out long in front of me. The right leg is bent. Let's inhale that right arm up. Windmill it around as you exhale. And then inhale the left arm up and rest it outside of your bent knee or use the palm of your hand here. And we want to remember to sit up nice and tall. Engage those abdominals. Feel that nice twist there. Now gently, gently unwind. Let's scooch on up toward the top of our mat. We want to hold on behind the legs here, right where the thighs are. Roll down gently, gently, and let's hug those knees in toward our chest. So we get a nice knees to chest pose here. You might choose to rock the knees side to side or circle them around if that feels comfortable for your back. Just a little massage here. Now let's bring those tailbones back to the center, keeping our knees bent. Let's lower the feet to the ground. Let's extend the arms down long to the floor, palms down so they're just beyond the hips. We are going to use a bridge pose here. So on the next inhale, let's gently peel up one vertebrae at a time away from the mat, lifting our hips toward the ceiling, keeping the shoulder blades connected to the earth beneath us, pressing down through the feet to help with that lift. And when we're ready, let's gently, gently reconnect one vertebrae at a time. You can keep your knees bent as we practice Shavasana, just for a more back-friendly version for anyone guarding their spine. Or you can extend the legs long to the ground here and turn the palms up toward the ceiling. Let the feet fall apart in relaxation for that traditional Shavasana pose or corpse pose. And as we lie down here in Shavasana, we're reminded that we are safe and we are supported by the ground beneath us. And all that we need to do here during Shavasana is breathe and just simply observe. Let's begin to slowly awaken the body from this balancing, mindful rest. Let's invite some small movements into our fingers and our toes that will gently wake them. Starting to breathe a little more deeply, filling all parts of the physical body and the mind with good waking energy that we've created together here. And we find our hearts are shining with gratitude, grateful for these yoga poses that can help stimulate the various chakras and help us maintain good energy levels in the body, as well as ripple out into the rest of our physical world. We're also grateful to be able to share this practice with each other, both near and far, knowing that even when we cannot be together in person, we can still share this practice, thinking of each other all the while. Now, if you're lying down for Shavasana, let's take a moment to bend the knees, hugging them in closer to the chest, maybe gently rocking those knees side to side, massaging the back in a gesture of self-care. And when you're ready, just carefully roll the entire body over to one side on the mat. Each of us breathing in the peace, the balance, and the focus that we've shared here today, intending to take it with us everywhere we go. And exhaling all of the warmth, kindness, encouragement, and love that we have for each other, for the world around us, and for ourselves. And when we're ready, with our eyes still closed, let's return to an easy seated posture. I invite each one of us to bring the palms together at heart center. Let's start to rub the hands vigorously, warming them today. And let's use our warm hands to gently cover our closed eyes. That wonderful heat that we find there is inviting our eyes to slowly open, and we bring our hands to rest upon our laps. Clear minds, kind words, compassionate hearts. Namaste.